Wait! Did your credit score just drop and you have no idea why? Don't panic. Class is in session and Mr. Paws is here to break down your credit score snapshot in 60 seconds.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into one of the most powerful and honestly most misunderstood numbers in your entire financial life, your credit score. We're going to break down how a very simple timing adjustment, one that almost everybody misses, can be the absolute key to taking your score from just good to truly exceptional. Okay, let's start with a mystery that is maddeningly common. I want you to picture this. You use your credit card for a big purchase, let's say $2,000 for a new couch. You've got the cash, you're responsible, the bill comes, and you pay it off. In full. On time. You paid zero interest. You did everything right. And then you get that alert. Your credit score just dropped. What on earth happened? Well, we are going to solve that exact puzzle right now. So here's the game plan. We're going to walk through this step by step. First, we'll talk about why it feels like you're being penalized. Then we'll look at how the system actually takes a snapshot of your finances. We'll decode utilization and then the big reveal, the statement date solution. After that, we'll peek into the future of scoring and wrap up with how to play this whole game wisely. All right, let's dive in. You know, this feeling of being punished for doing the right thing, it creates this huge psychological disconnect. I've talked to so many people who get genuinely scared to even use their credit cards. They think, I use it, I pay it off, my score drops. The system must be rigged. But it's not that you're being irresponsible, it's that the system's reporting lag makes you look that way to the computers. So what's really going on here? Well, the problem isn't that the system is broken. Not really. It's just bureaucratic. It's slow. It's always reporting yesterday's news. You're living in real time, paying bills as they come, but your credit score is basically living on a 30-day delay. To get it, we really need to pull back the curtain and see how your data actually gets reported. This right here is maybe the most important idea to get your head around. We all kind of assume the credit bureaus are watching a live movie of our finances, right? A continuous stream of our good behavior. But that is not how the plumbing works at all. It is just a series of still photographs. And the worst part? The photographer usually shows up and takes the picture right when your room is at its absolute messiest, just before you plan to clean it all up. Okay, so let's visualize this timeline. Let's say your billing cycle starts January 1st and ends January 30th. All month, you're swiping your card. Gas, groceries, and that $2,000 couch. Your balance goes up and up. Then, on January 30th, the cycle closes. And this is it. This is the critical moment, the statement closing date. The bank generates your bill and bam, it takes that snapshot of whatever your balance is on that day. And that number is what gets sent off to the credit bureaus. And this is where everyone gets tripped up. We're all trained from day one to focus on the payment due date. In our example, that's February 25th. We focus on it so we don't get hit with late fees or interest. But here's the thing. For your credit score, that date is almost irrelevant. It's the statement closing date weeks earlier that dictates the number on your report for the whole next month. Your responsible payment on February 25th doesn't go back in time and erase the high balance photo that was already taken. So what is this snapshot actually capturing? It all comes down to this key metric, credit utilization. It's just a fancy term for a simple percentage. You just take your reported balance and divide it by your total credit limit. So in our couch example, with a $2,000 balance on a $5,000 limit card, the snapshot shows a utilization of 40%. This one number is probably the fastest lever you can pull to change your score, because you can literally change it in under 30 days. So why does this one number matter so much? Because to a lending algorithm, it's a direct signal of risk. Let's dig into the rules of the algorithm, because the weight this thing carries, it's massive. Just look at the sheer weight of this. Of course, payment history is king at 35%. You always have to pay on time. But look what's right behind it, amounts owed. That's a massive 30% slice of the pie, and it's almost entirely driven by your credit utilization. Think about that. It's more important than how long you've had credit. It's more important than what types of credit you have. A single month of high utilization can rock nearly a third of your score. You see, the algorithm sees high utilization as a red flag for future trouble. It's just based on historical data. People who max out their cards are, statistically, more likely to run into financial problems. So the score adjusts immediately. Over 30% utilization, and it starts seeing you as a risk. Over 50%, and it looks like a crisis. And when you get up over 90%, you are in the free fall zone. Your score can absolutely plummet. But, and this is the best part, here is the good news. Unlike a late payment which can haunt your report for 7 long years, utilization, at least in the most common scoring models, is completely memoryless. It's like it has amnesia. As soon as a new lower balance gets reported next month, that old high balance is totally forgotten. You could be at 90% in January and then report 5% in February, and your score will bounce right back, as if nothing ever happened. And this memoryless feature is exactly what makes our solution so incredibly powerful. You're not fixing some permanent black mark on your record. You are simply correcting the current data point. It's not even really a hack. It's just a strategic timing adjustment that puts you, not the bank, in control of that snapshot. Now, before we get to the actual steps, we have to clear up the biggest fear people have about this: paying interest. This is where the language really trips people up. Let me be super clear. You can have a small balance reported to the credit bureaus without carrying that balance from month to month and paying interest on it. This one distinction is the key to doing this without it costing you a single penny. Okay, here's the playbook. It's a 2-step payment process. Step 1, find your statement closing date. It's right there on your PDF bill. Put it in your calendar, set a reminder for, say, 3 days before that date. Step 2, when that reminder goes off, just log into your account and pay most of your balance off, leaving just a tiny amount, like $10. Step 3, you just let the statement cut with that tiny balance. The bank reports that small number. And finally, step 4, just pay off that little remaining amount before your actual due date. Boom, no interest paid. Now, for those of you who are really trying to max out your score, the perfectionists out there, the goal isn't actually 0. Consistently reporting a 0 balance can look like you're not even using credit, and the algorithm needs data to score you. So the pro-level strategy is called all 0 except 1, or AZEO. It's simple. You pay all of your cards down to 0 before their statement dates except 1. On that one target card, you let a tiny balance report. This sends the perfect signal. You're an active but incredibly responsible credit user. So this strategy is absolute gold for the models that are used everywhere today, like FICO 8. But the system is always evolving, so you need to know what's coming next. Let's take a quick look at the future of scoring so you can stay ahead of the curve. Newer models like FICO 10T and VantageScore 4.0 use something called trended data. So instead of just that one snapshot, they look at your whole photo album from the last 2 years. They can see if you're someone who always carries a high balance and just pays it down at the last second. The key question is shifting from what do you owe right now to how have you managed your balances over time? And here's another huge twist. These newer models can actually include your rent and utility payments. This is a total game changer. Payments you are already making every single month can now become free credit building points. You use a third-party service, and they'll report your on-time payments to the bureaus. And the data shows that the vast majority of renters who do this see their scores go up. And one last little power-up for you. If you need a score boost like yesterday, maybe you're applying for a mortgage, you can combine our statement date strategy with a service called rapid rescoring. Basically, a mortgage lender can submit proof of your new lower balance directly to the bureaus, forcing an update to your score in as little as 3 days instead of waiting a whole month. Okay, this knowledge is a really powerful tool, but you have to use it correctly. Now that you know how to manage what gets reported, let's cover 2 huge mistakes you have to avoid. First, do not engage in credit cycling. This is where you max out a card, pay it off, then max it out again, all in the same month. To a bank's fraud department, that looks like high-risk behavior, maybe even money laundering, and they will shut down your account. Second mistake, never, ever close your old, unused credit cards. When you close a card, you lose its credit limit from your file. That shrinks your total available credit, which can make your utilization percentage spike instantly. Those old cards are like ballast for your credit score. They keep it stable. You know, the banking system is just built on a set of rules. Most of us only ever learn the rules about avoiding fees and interest. But the rules about data and reporting and timing, they're just as powerful, maybe even more so. By understanding the snapshot, you stop being a victim of the algorithm and you start becoming the one who manages it. The system isn't some unbeatable monster. It's just a game. And now, you know how to win.